Hello, everyone. Let's have more news about the Warriors. But first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Sometimes basketball delivers justice with the precision of a perfectly timed steal and the satisfaction of a game winning three pointer. The Warriors' Game 7 elimination of the Houston Rockets wasn't just another playoff victory, it was the universe's way of saying, talk trash, get taken out. Let's set the stage for this beautiful karmic symphony. Dylan Brooks, the man who spent 2 seasons perfecting his craft as the NBA's premier antagonist, had the audacity to call Draymond Green a dirty player during their playoff series. This is the same Dylan Brooks whose Memphis flagrant foul on Gary Payton II in 2022 fractured GP2's elbow during the Warriors' championship run. The irony was so thick you could cut it with Draymond's defensive instincts. Brooks didn't just stop at trash talk, he orchestrated a masterclass in playoff disrespect. According to reports, Brooks admitted he was trying to hurt Steph Curry's hand and positioned himself as the series' Mr. Big Bad Wolf. Meanwhile, Jalen Green was supposed to be Houston's rising star, their answer to the Warriors' championship pedigree. But here's where basketball's beautiful brutality reveals itself. Green averaged a paltry 13.3 points on 37.2% shooting throughout the 7 game series against Golden State. Besides his 38-point explosion in Game 2, Green only scored 12 or fewer points in the 6 other games, with 4 single-digit outings highlighting his major weakness as a consistent scorer for a playoff contender. The Warriors didn't just beat Houston, they dismantled the very foundation of Brooks and Green's playoff swagger. This wasn't just about winning a series, it was about exposing the difference between manufactured toughness and championship DNA. Now let's go to another video. Don't forget to leave a like.
This offseason as they expect to surround more talent, more real NBA players around Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green. As this is a 2-year window now at this point. Jimmy Butler, max extension. That was the big swing move. Now, what can they do around the margins to get over the hump in the Western Conference? There's some ways that Golden State can make this roster better, though. They got the non-taxpayer mid-level exception, $14.1 million. They get the biannual exception, $5.1 million. And I do believe that if they use either one or both of these two exceptions, they'll be hard capped at the first apron. So expect maybe potentially a money moving trade. Like they do have some space, I believe about $20 million before the first apron. So they can make this stuff happen. They can sign a guy to this, they can sign a guy to that, and they can maybe get a veteran minimum contract in there as well. So there's opportunity here for Golden State to get up to 3, maybe 4 new additions to this roster, and we see a new look team, especially coming off the bench at least for next season. Now let's get into it. High-end, mid-level exception players. This is level 1. We're going to do level 1, level 2, level 3. So right now we're going to do the high-end, mid-level guys because we know Golden State cannot sign any of the big fish, if there are any, in free agency this offseason. And obviously we know Kuminga, restricted free agent. We're not talking about him today. External options only. And we're starting with Nickeil Alexander-Walker here, who I'm a big fan of, man. He really took a lot of steps for me in his career here ever since he's been a part of the Minnesota Timberwolves, man. And it's been awesome to see him be more of a ball handler this past season, especially when it came to the playoffs. A nice 3-and-D option here. He's 6'6", and he can hit at a 40% clip on decent volume. He can defend, most players at the 1, the 2, some at the 3 as well. Just an available corner option, and a player who's going to see a decent payday this offseason. He's going to see a lot of suitors. But I do believe if he were to come to the Golden State Warriors, you could argue that he has just as big, if not a bigger role in Golden State's offense than he already has with the Minnesota Timberwolves. So couple that with a nice payday, and he could be my number 1 free agency target for Golden State at the mid-level this offseason. Now, if he's going to go somewhere else and the Golden State misses out on a Nickeil Alexander-Walker trade, what about Bobby Portis, who the Golden State Warriors have been linked to previously this offseason? Now, remember when Bobby Portis went on FanDuel TV or whatever it was and talked about these rumors that were flying around? He's like, I don't know who writes these things. I don't know how people come up with this stuff because I guess nothing was ever actually rumored or reported to be interest from either sides. But Portis, he's an NBA champion, and he's put up solid numbers throughout his career, man. Kind of the definition of consistency here. Portis is nearly a 40% three-point shooter. Can kind of get his own as well with the ball in his hands. Can get to the in-between game. Has that post up where he can use his shoulder for a little shimmy and a turnaround jumper. He has that in his bag. And he's also a really, really solid rebounder as well. Nearly double digits each of the last 4 seasons. So he's a player that I'm super interested in Golden State getting this offseason. Is he going to sign more than the mid-level? Probably not, because not many teams have more than the mid-level. If you're not talking about the Brooklyn Nets or the Detroit Pistons this offseason, and the Pistons probably seem focused on Malik Beasley, Bobby Portis is going to be out there on the open market, hopefully after declining that player option, and he probably gets a nice multi-year deal for around that $14.1 million mark. Now, another restricted free agent, not Jonathan Kuminga, no, Santi Aldama, who I think could get around that mid-level exception number. What do you think, Coop? Is that seems right? I think so too. And he's a 7-footer who, look, I know Tim Kawakami said that he doesn't think they're going to go stretch 5 anymore. I push back on that a little bit. If they see a player like Aldama, and he doesn't necessarily even play like a center either. This guy operates in the wing, in the dunker spot, can put the ball on the deck a little bit. He actually is one of the more feisty players in this league as well. We saw what he was doing against Golden State in that play-in game, and he's lit it up from three-point range this past season and a little bit before. He's really coming along as a player here. Averaged nearly 13 points a game this season. Career highs across the board for Aldama, and I think he could be a legit player with a big role here, as Golden State is pretty thin in the size department as well as in the front court overall. So Aldama is absolutely a name to keep your eye on here as a mid-level target, but Memphis could end up matching the offer sheet that he does sign. Hopefully, it's with the Golden State Warriors, and Memphis doesn't end up doing that, because I'd love to see him with the Dubs. Pick one to sign, though, for me. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Bobby Portis, or Santi Aldama. Give me an NAW if it's Nickeil Alexander-Walker. If it's Bobby Portis, give me a BP. And if it's Santi, give me an SA down in the comment section. Your number one mid-level exception free agent target for the Warriors. Who's it going to be? You let me know. Moving down to level 2 now, the biannual guys, in-betweeners here. I use biannual because that's the next exception that Golden State has. Teams around this league, if they want to add talent externally, they're going to have to use these exceptions. Nobody has cap space, so this is what Golden State has at their disposal. Let's talk about our first tweener here, who could potentially end up being a vet minimum target. But if Golden State is dead set on bringing him here, Brook Lopez is absolutely a name to watch. Now, is he the defender that he once was at this point in his career at age 37? Absolutely not. But he can be a stretch 5, and somebody who I would love for Quentin Post to kind of model his game around, at least the late stage Brook Lopez in his career, because he has been awesome in his Bucks tenure, especially in the offensive end, as he could hit that trailing three-point shot above the break at a really, really high clip, 37% plus, basically throughout his entire Bucks tenure. Not the best rebounder overall, and I know Golden State probably wants to control the glass a little bit better next season, but I like Brook as a veteran leader, especially as well. He's going to be a calming, kind of presence in that locker room and a good mentor to the, Warriors' young front court in Quentin Post and whoever else is down there. I like Brook, and I think he could honestly probably keep Draymond in check a little bit too. That'd be a good role for him to have as a leader off the bench. How about Luke Kennard, sharpshooter? I don't think he's going to get more than $5 million in free agency in the open market this offseason. Age 29, he's not really a great defender overall, but he really provides more than just kind of shooting to his game. Underrated passer of the basketball, can put the ball on the deck and finish at the rim just a little bit in his game. But we know what his calling card is. That's the outside shot. And with a guy who shoots like nearly 7 threes a game most of the time, and with the numbers that he does, 45%, 43% from long range. Oh, yeah, 49% a couple years ago. This past season, I believe he shot like 50% on wide open threes or something like that. Like, it's just freaky numbers. One of the more underrated shooters in the entire league. And if he wants to surround himself and play next to Steph Curry, I'm sure that's one of his effing heroes in his life. He could go to Golden State, and they can make it happen here at the biannual level, and they would be happy to do it, as they need way more consistent outside shooting in that lineup. What about Karis LeVert, though? They also need real good isolation scorers off that bench unit, and I think Karis LeVert can absolutely do that. I don't expect him to be, something crazy in the mid-level or something like that. I think he could be right around this $5 million mark. He's nearly 30 years old now at this point, and not really much of a defender, so these one-way players, especially a guy like LeVert, who's kind of a volume scorer off of the bench, like, those guys aren't going to be seeing big paydays anymore. And even though, this has been a guy who's averaged 17 points a game in the last 4 seasons, like, he's still, I don't think he's even that level of player anymore that he was in Cleveland and in Indiana way back in the day. So this is a guy who I think is one of those tweener contracts, and for those minutes where Steph, Jimmy, and Draymond are off of the floor, or some combo of the three, LeVert can come in and get buckets for that second Golden State unit. They really lacked a guy like this in the lineup on the wing this season. All right, before we get to our last set of free agent targets for your Golden State Warriors, get hooked up with this fresh tease. The fourth is coming up here. Who doesn't want to rock a Warriors tee to chop it up with the family and friends while you're slicing some burgers and dogs up on the grill? Get it at this link right here, chatsports.com/Dubs4th. It's awesome, man. I might get myself one with that USA flag behind the Dubs logo. I'll put that link in the comment section and description for you guys to make it easy as well. Chatsports.com/Dubs4th to get your 4th of July tees today. Level 3, let's close this thing out with bet minimum deals, and most of these are going to be familiar faces. Actually, pretty sure all of them are going to be familiar faces to Warriors fans. As of right now, Anthony Melton, my dog, is he going to be back in Golden State next season? I think so. I'd argue out of every name in this video, aside from the next two that we'll talk about, because I think they're very, very likely to come back, Anthony Melton is my most realistic Warriors free agent target this offseason. At the vet minimum level, they signed him to the mid-level contract last offseason. Unfortunately, tore his ACL in November. He looked awesome in the starting lineup next to Steph at the start of the Warriors season, starting 12-3. Next thing you know, he goes down. The Warriors are like 12-21 over the next 33 games or some nonsense like that. So I would love to see him come back into the lineup, and I think he could provide something if he could stay healthy, man. Like, I'm not saying he's going to start, but like, ease into this thing a little bit, play spot 15, 20 minutes a night, and he's going to provide solid effort and shot-making ability on both ends of the floor. So I would be very, very happy if Anthony Melton ended up re-signing in Golden State. Just a one-year deal, vet minimum, get back on your feet, stay healthy for a season, and then that would be a really, really like great buy low option for the Dubs as he fit in awesome to start his Golden State career. And now we'll get to the final two targets. They're not really targets because I think it's kind of inevitable at this point. Kevon Looney, is he ever going to lead the Golden State Warriors? It's crazy to believe that he's only 29 at this point. Been with the team damn near a decade now. And I think they have mutual interest in a reunion on the vet minimum level at around $2.6 million or whatever it is. Looney is a good veteran leader down low there, and you can always count on him to give you that effort and be a solid rebounder in the late stages of games when Golden State needs to control possessions. But he just cannot be relied upon in a lot of other areas, and he's really undersized as well. Golden State needs to find fresh blood in that front court. Gary Payton, apparently there's mutual interest in these two reuniting. I won't do it for anything more than the vet minimum. He's just too much of a one-dimensional player at this point, provides nothing offensively, and I really don't want to see him often at all playing postseason minutes anymore, especially down the stretches of games. He hits some threes for me. GP2 is an awesome energy guy, and these two, Looney and GP2, are kind of foundational to the locker room and keeping this Golden State identity together, as they're both multi-time champs with
their current teams. Who's declining their options? Who could be out there? What trades are going on? So this is a comprehensive episode. It's Sunday night where I live in Nebraska. Go Big Red, go Cornhuskers. I just got done covering my first rodeo. It was so much fun. Go to Randy Silver TV YouTube channel. You can check out my package on it. Go to rodeo if you've never been. It was cool. So it's almost 9 p.m. here. Tomorrow starts the break. June 30th is when you can start negotiating officially as restricted free agents and offering deals. So we're going to start hearing news thick and fast. But we got to go over what's happened. The biggest news in Warriors land of the day is we extended the options of Guy Santos and Quinton Post. Not unexpected, something that we knew would happen. Santos is on the books for $2.2 million, non-guaranteed, and Post will have $1.9 million. Two late-round, second-round picks made an impact. Maybe not on the playoffs, but in the regular season, we saw really how they were effective for us. What does that mean for the roster? Well, folks, you guys have seen me use this a lot. Shout out to Golden State Warriors CBA on Twitter. Give them a follow. I use this for this. So this was where we're at, folks. Now we're back here. New season. New season. You can see it's being updated. So say goodbye to the old. Bye. Bye. Now this is where our team is at. Let's blow it up for you. These are the signed players. Again, 80% of your money is basically going to Curry, Butler, and Green. Currently, right now, we're at salary cap 154, luxury tax 187, first apron 195, 207. We're at 170. We're over the salary cap. We're 17 million away from the luxury tax level. We're 25 million away from the first apron. So that means if Kuminga's getting a $20, $30 million on the open market, he's going to take us to the first apron. Fine, you're going to have to pay some penalties. You can't go over the second apron. It totally ruins your roster construction. It limits you from doing trades, draft, things of that nature. So they basically have $36 million to play with. Kuminga, you think if he comes back, will take a lot. Now, that's up to you to comment and say, is he worth $20 to $30 million, or use that other way? If you give him $25 million, let's say, it puts you at 10 players, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 5 players to then have to really fill out the rest of your roster. Not easy. Not easy for 5 players, $10 million. Not a lot of value there. That's where potentially if you do a sign trade for Kuminga, you could get a couple players, maybe some draft picks, if you don't think he's the guy moving forward. If you look to the future money, again, that's where this was. Future money right here. Not a lot in 27, 28. Again, it all depends. Curry, Butler, Green. What's going to happen? They're going to come back. Is there going to be a full rebuild, retool, reset? Will they come or whatnot? Really, only Buddy and Moody are on the books at that point. I should mention, of course, Jackson Rowe is a two-way player. I will put out a video. This will come out Monday morning, just so you guys are aware. The Summer League rosters come out, so we're going to break down who's on the Summer League roster, which two-way players. Quinton Post is not on that roster. Probably a good thing. I mean, it would be nice to see him dominate Summer League, but he played enough last year. Let him just develop more through the conditioning programs that they have for players. So we'll break this down in the video. Again, subscribe, don't miss it. So tell me what you think about Santos and Post coming in. Again, not the craziest news, but here at Warriors Digest, we keep you updated on everything on our team, and you have to know what's going on. And what's going on in the NBA is a lot of news. So let's break this down. We talked about Lonzo getting traded from the Bulls to Cleveland. That means Ty Jerome may become a free agent. We love Ty Jerome, can shoot, can play backup point guard for us. Not going to have enough money. If Kuminga walks, potentially get Jerome, but I don't think we'll do it enough. Davion Mitchell is signing a 2-year, $24 million deal with the Heat. I like that. Would be a nice backup point guard. A bit smaller, scrappy point guard though. Defense tenacity, maybe not the biggest. Made some big threes for Miami. Was traded there and was in Sacramento. I think it went to Toronto, then Toronto to Miami. But he started last season in Sacramento, ended with the Heat. Did a nice job there. He averaged 10 points, 5 assists. So again, you're showing you who could be on the roster for us who's gone. Free agent guard Sam Merrill intends to sign a 4-year, $38 million contract with the Cavaliers. 60th pick in the 2020 draft. Good for him. Mr. Irrelevant in NBA is getting paid. We talked about Davion Mitchell. Clippers for Nicholas Batum, declining his $5 million option. He could come back to the Clippers. Now, is he somebody who could come to the Warriors? He is that multi-player. You know, he's a bit older, in his mid-30s now, I want to say, or young 30s, but he's up there. But not a true center. And we have enough power forwards and Draymond and Quinton Post and Santos. Probably don't need Batum. Garrett Temple signs a 1-year deal with the Raptors to go back. 16th NBA season. Good for him. OKC's trading guard Dylan Jones and a second-round pick to the Wizards. Wizards are sending guard Colby Jones, the defender. Release him. So Wizards have been very, very busy already. Obviously, they made the trade for CJ McCollum coming to Wizards. Jordan Poole going to the Pelicans. OKC Thunder center forward Jalen Williams is signing a new 3-year deal, $24 million, $8 per year, with the Thunder to stay there. Good for him. He's earned it. NBA champion. Won't be on the market. LBJ is opting into his $53 million deal. Why would he know? Why wouldn't he? Lakers got Luka, him. They got a bright future, potentially. No reason he wouldn't leave that. Rich Paul, he knows the Lakers are building for the future. He understands that, but he values a realistic chance of winning it all. There was nowhere else he was going. His family loves LA too. Detroit Pistons guard Malik Beasley is being looked at by the U.S. District Attorney for gambling-related violations. Not good. Dorian Finney-Smith declining his $15 million player option for 25-26 and will enter free agency. Contending teams are expected to pursue him. Again, that could be a good fit for the Warriors. A 3-and-D type player, high 30% shooter, can switch multiple positions. If he's declining 15.4 million, I'm assuming he's expecting to get 20, 30 million. You're not going to get him and Kuminga. Kuminga walks, boom. Maybe that's your player you bring in. Or they let Kuminga go and think that, hey, he could be the right guy for now. Congratulations, Julius Randle. Intends to sign a new 3-year, $100 million deal to stay with the Timberwolves. They're not expecting to leave that. $33.3 million per year and a player option, so he could leave after 2 years, basically. Great deal for him. How his career started with the Lakers. Obviously, he had the significant injury basically in preseason, missed the year, came back, was shipped out to the Pelicans, has rebuilt his career. I really like seeing him ball. He destroyed us in the playoffs. Duncan Robinson declining his $20 million early termination option to become a free agent and will look to make a new deal, potentially somewhere else. He could be a nice fit with the Warriors, but again, declining $20 million, expects to get more in the open market. With Kuminga, the Warriors don't have the option. And again, I keep bringing this up because Kuminga is our domino that needs to fall. If he's coming back at 20, 30 million, you can't get these free agents. You don't have the cap space. If he walks away, you can get a couple of these people depending what the offer is and what they're looking to get. Jazz are sending Colin Sexton in a 2030 second round pick to the Hornets for Yusuf Nurkic. So the question is, does that mean LaMelo Ball is out of Charlotte? You don't have Sexton and Ball both play together. I mean, they could, but they're both primary ball handlers, shooters. Is this the end of Ball in Charlotte? It just didn't work out for him there. 76ers declining Lonnie Walker's option, free agent. Again, killed us when he was with the Lakers, that one game. Could be a nice scoring option off the bench. Very streaky shooter, can get 4 or 5 threes like that, or he could go 0 for 5. Eric Gordon declining his option. Return is possible. He's a bit too old for the Warriors at this point. Dominic Barlow, Ariel Hookparty. Mitchell is coming back to the OKC. James Harden declining his player option, intends to sign a new 2-year, $81 million to return to the Clippers. Fear the Beard staying in LA. Good for him to keep getting paid. Player option partly guaranteed. Bobby Portis intends to sign a 3-year, $44 million extension to return to the Bucks. And that was someone we talked about on our website, on my YouTube channel, a bunch. Hey, is Portis a good fit? He could be. Him and Draymond playing together would be tenacity. But no, he's staying there. That's big. Does that help Giannis stay with the Bucks as well? Magic are declining options on Mo Wagner and Caleb Houston. The Magic retain both bird rights, meaning Orlando could still resign them. Would not be surprised if Wagner comes back. I think that's it. Oh, Houston Rockets for Jabari Smith intends to sign a 5-year, $122 million extension with the Rockets. Congratulations to him. Get that bag. Rockets have done a crazy business this offseason. You see it all right there. They're going to be a team, if they're healthy, very forceful in the West. They were 2 last year. Don't be surprised if they're 1, if they're healthy, but can they get over the hump in the playoffs? So that is your basic recap. Again, for us, this is where we're at as a collective team. It comes down to what is Kuminga doing with his contract. We know that we gave him the tender. He's going to decline it. And then what happens in restricted free agency? And we should know quick, because if it draws out, we're going to miss out on players with that $35 million of space we have. So comment your thoughts, subscribe. Let me know, do you like this type of stuff? Like going through it, making sure we stay you up to date. If you want something more specific, again, check the Summer League 1 coming out tomorrow. Deuces.
Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James and his agent Rich Paul put out a statement that sounds like they may consider requesting a trade at some point soon, and if that reality comes true, the Golden State Warriors would be a perfect landing spot. It would finally open up the window for a dream team-up of James and Stephen Curry. LeBron wants to compete for a championship, Paul told Shams Charania of ESPN. He knows the Lakers are building for the future. He understands that, but he values a realistic chance of winning it all. We are very appreciative of the partnership that we've had for 8 years with Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka, and consider the Lakers as a critical part of his career. We understand the difficulty in winning now while preparing for the future. We do want to evaluate what's best for LeBron at this stage in his life and career. He wants to make every season he has left count, and the Lakers understand that, are supportive, and want what's best for him. The two megastars competed against each other in the NBA Finals for years, and fans finally got a sneak peek at what the duo could look like during the 2024 Olympics, where the pair won a gold medal together in Paris. If James ends up actually requesting a trade, the Warriors could be drooling at the chance to bring him on board. At face value, it would be difficult for the Warriors to make a James trade happen, despite the fact that they won't have a ton of players on their books heading into the offseason. Unfortunately for his friendship with James, Draymond Green would almost certainly have to be in the trade. From a purely financially oriented perspective, a package of Draymond Green, Buddy Hield, and Moses Moody would get the Warriors to James's salary in a trade. And you, fan, what do you think about LeBron James's situation? Leave your opinion in the comments. Hello, everyone.